excuse my wind, but we have a huge tide. 6.4 today, and it looks fantastic. That was a cormorant, a double-crested cormorant, who just took off there. And yesterday, I got to watch him from my screen porch and binoculars dive in the water. They do it with their wings outstretched. They don't have that oil like a duck, for waterproofing, for lack of a better word, and come up with a snake. And it was quite the rumble for him to be able to eat that snake, but he got it done. So our tide is huge. And we have sunshine, and it is time to garden. Oh yeah. Just for a visual on how high that tide is, check out my little kayaking dock. And coming over to my knocked up platform, it is way out there, but still standing tall. And that lets me shoot my fishing pole straight down the straightaway when I stand out on that. And just to give you an idea of what washes up in the water, if you can see all the glass from years and years of what washes up and is deep into that soil out there. Don't litter the waterways, people. So I'm in our new improved greenhouse. The one we had for 2 years was made of this, what's supposed to be really good green reinforced plastic. It only lasted 2 years here. We think it only lasted that amount of time because it's so windy here. It's a saltwater environment. And we had the 2 ice storms. So my husband's double insulated part of it, and this part is single insulated. But he made it to where with the door, to have an easy hook to hold it open and then close it. So up here, it'll be a Dutch door. This door only comes there. That'll give us ventilation. And back there, he's just putting a vent and going to paint it orange so the bees can find their way in as well. So there is boxes at the bottom full of what took us 2 years to make of great compost. And my awesome friend Diane, who has a greenhouse, started all these seedlings for me. Because let's face it, we got the gardening spring fever. So, some little things. What do you call those? They're not plums. Beets. Those are beets. So here is the garden. And these are onions in this row. And then I have some garlic. And then some more onions down to the left of there. I'm going to be putting pecan corners, amazing big fat okra seeds in this row here. And then there's a couple beets that popped up. And this row, I'll do red peppers at the front, and then I do a butternut squash at the back, and a spaghetti squash. It stays more moist there, and they really seem to like that. I have peas coming up here. And this row is cantaloupe that I fight the raccoons for. But my husband made me some racks that I put around when it starts to make the cantaloupe. I used to plant a watermelon there, but my friend Diane is the watermelon queen. She grows the best watermelons ever, so I'm just rolling with cantaloupe. And my asparagus patch It's my first time ever growing asparagus. So this section here, this will be the 3rd year. We can get closer without me tripping. I don't want to go all the peachy prepper and fall down. So these, there's one, there's 2. Nice. So these will do whatever this fernin business is, because this is from last year. This is its 2nd year. And this one is from last year. This is my husband's blackberry patch. I think they're blackberries, raspberry. I think they're blackberries. And I usually do strawberries in this little box. I'm doing lechuga or lettuce this time. This is our compost box. And the first year we had to buy compost from the local landfill to make our rows. And then add mushroom compost, black cow. So last year we were able to amend these rows with our own compost, but this year it should do much better. And if I can remember to put the picture in here, when we had to till out these rows, remember this is a salty environment, so things grow very slow. And windy, you can hear the wind, can't do nothing about that. Anywho, I'll show where I went American Indian and I laid mullet that I spent days cast netting for in the bottom of all these rows. That is my artichoke. There's one there. One that died during the ice storm last year. And this is my insane cabbage. I need to pull it out of there because I promise you it's been there since last year. It won't really become a cabbage, but he just likes hanging out here, so I don't understand it. It survived the whole winter here in the 20s and 30s. So that is our greenhouse. He still used the same frame that was there on the green reinforced. At the top of that little brown frame door, he's going to put in something that's removable, like lattice for the summer, and then a door for the winter, and then just your basic rain barrels that then will begin to water my garden. So I have bad spring planting and fishing fever. So that's our gardening area, and it does have to be behind a deer fence because we have a deer blessing. Some people have a problem, we have a blessing. And my pirate flag, she's blowing in the wind, she is. A lot of us have talked about how we organize our seeds. This is just a dish bucket, and occasionally I have to use this in the winter when my well freezes to have water. It's something to wash our hands in our dishes. I have several of these. But anyway, I just make a legend on a piece of cardstock of my rows, what I planted in them. I learned this from my friend Diane, taking sour cream and yogurt things, cutting them up to make plant steaks. But other than that, they're loosely alphabetical, and this is what I'd be planting from this year. And I saved some red pepper seeds. I keep them in little tic-tac things. But I am rolling with strike beans this year that I'm still working recommended, that they had such a great harvest from. They don't have to crawl up. They're not a pole bean, so this will be the first time using those. So I'm excited to plant those. And other than that, I just keep them in these little cheap sandwich bags with what's on there. One of my favorite things to have out here is just that little bitty box. And then I'm able to keep my container, my little sprayer for neem oil I got from Gary Piltharek, and then a little milk carton for my homemade insect spray and powdery mildew. So I keep them in this box, And then as I need them, I'm able to pull them out. It ain't pretty, people. It's a gardening box. And let's give a big shout out for the Liberty Red Devils. Oh, yeah. Anyway, it's a good knee protector. So now I just got to work at cleaning this out a little bit, get some of the winter spiders out, and hope nobody's too dangerous and hurts me. So get your garden on, people. Grow it. So I am ready to rumble. I'm going to go mix up my neem oil, my powdery mildew, and my homemade insect spray that they can be transferred here. I can just grab my bucket. I've got gloves, knives, little shovels, the things that I need. And then I've got my ties and a dooflachi, my pins in there, my knee pads, a little shovel for when I put something on our compost pile. I'm going to take my twine and string and put them in like a peanut container because they get all tied up in my basket. So I am ready to garden and rumble, people. Do it.